Today I'll introduce you to a great friend of mine, Mr. Novo Serus T. It's a great guitar that I'm sure you want to know more about. I'll also show you a great tip that'll take your solos to another level instantly. Stay tuned. So this is the Novo Serus T. This is a custom-made model and it's got Inca silver colored, double binding, pickups are Loller, gold foil and a Porter 9T bridge pickup and the mastery system. So it's just a very cool guitar and it sounds great and it's just very comfortable to play. My signal at the moment, it goes through my Bruno Cow Tipper Pro 2 amp. I got my room mic, which is an AKG 414, and I got a Shure KSM 313. And that's it really. This is the clean sound with some reverb. This is the gold foil pickup. It's just a very warm sounding pickup, which is kind of like a P90, but just warmer and fuller, in my opinion. It's a very just usable pickup. Bridge pickup. More bite, just a little bit sort of aggressive sounding bridge pickup. But still not that ice picky treble. It's quite a round, just very pleasant tone in that pickup as well. And then middle position. It sounds great. The tone control rolls off lots of high end. So it's actually, the tone control actually makes a big difference in the sound. So it's just a very dynamic and just very inspirational guitar to play. Now I had the Vemiram Shanks pedal on, and a little bit of delay as well. Just a great tone. And I used the gold foil pickup. Here's the bridge. Just got lots of bite to it. It's really nice. I also really like this Mastery vibrato bar, because it's a very long arm. So the vibrato you get a very soft vibrato. It's a bit similar to Bigsby, but this is just so much, it feels so much tighter. It's kind of in between just a normal Strat kind of system and the Bigsby, I guess. And it's very comfortable. It's just very soft, and I mean it's pretty big, so you have to sort of work with it a bit to get to know it. But it just feels kind of familiar if you come from a Strat. It's kind of familiar because the shape and the size of the arm, or the thickness of the arm, is kind of the same, but it's longer, so you need more movement to actually do something. But I quite like it. It's really nice. I promised you a tip to take your solos to another level, and here's the tip. If you're like me and you spent lots of time learning scales, and you use your scales when you're soloing, which is kind of the point in learning them, I guess. So say we're in let's say we're in the key of A. Let's use a blues in A just as an example, because then we have the A and the D and the E, 3 chords. And normally, or what many of us will do, is to think A minor pentatonic, or A minor scale, or a Mixolydian scale, or a blues scale. We're thinking scales, and that can work really well. But we need some luck to be able, or for it to work really well all the time. And that's because let's use the simplest of them, the A minor scale, A minor pentatonic scale. And I can use that over a blues in A. Then when I go to D, it kind of works, but it's not perfect. And that's because I'm still using the A minor notes. And yeah, a couple of them are inside the, I find a couple of them in the D chord. Like the note D and the note A. But those two notes from the A minor pentatonic scale, they're not very strong notes in the D chord. They're just the root and the fifth. What I want to be able to do here is either use the seventh, which I also have in the pentatonic scale, which will be the C note, but the best note or the strongest note to aim for when I go to a D is probably the third, which I don't find in the minor pentatonic scale. So it's a note F sharp. So if I target that note when especially when I change from the A to the D chord, if I target that F sharp, that's my goal. When I reach the change from A to D, I reach my goal, which is the F sharp. And if I can make lines that leads to that F sharp, you make the solo sound better. It makes more sense what I'm playing. And then you can play almost any other notes as long as you kind of land on, or you aim for this strong note within the chord. So, example, A. And I aimed for the F sharp. To aim for the third of the chord you're going to, that's a strong note. So I aim for the F sharp. Now I'm back into the A, and I got the minor third, a little bend to the major third, great blues lick or blues tips as well. Makes it instantly bluesy. And then I go to E. And I target the E chord, maybe even with just an E major triad. Because then I use the B note and the G sharp note, which I don't find in the A minor pentatonic scale. So again, I had to step outside the scale to target the chords I'm going for. And by doing that, I'll transfer my scale into, well, I put more notes into it, and I put those notes in at the right time, at the right place. So when I go to the D, I put in the F sharp. When I go to the E, I put in the G sharp, maybe the B, and suddenly the note, the choice of notes you're using just makes more sense, and it makes it more musical, and it just sounds more professional. It's not just like noodling around the scale notes, and then you just happen to hit the right notes once in a while. Now, but it requires some thinking and planning and practicing. And I've done this myself for many years. I've used mostly scales. And it can work really well, and it can be fine, especially if you're doing like fast stuff and you stick to the scale patterns. But it just gets a little bit boring, and you hardly ever hit those right notes at the right time. So keep in mind the chord progression you're playing over, and target those strong notes in the chord you're going to. Then your lines make more sense, and you can get away with pretty much anything. All the other notes can be just almost random as long as you land on a strong note. An example of that, like again, A to D. maybe not a very good example, but I can, as long as I land on the right one. You can play chromatic notes, you can play any notes. All notes are available at all times, and they can all be the right notes at all times, as long as you sort of combine them with others, other notes that are maybe even better for the chord you're going to. You get away with anything, as long as you do it with confidence. And if you miss the notes with if you don't hit the F sharp, but you hit the F note in a D chord, sounds interesting, do it again and again and again, and people will think that this is on purpose. That's the trick. Now go practice.